The Streets of San Francisco, a Quinn Martin production. Starring Karl Malden. Also starring Richard Hatch. With guest stars John Rubinstein, Devin Erickson, Joanne Nail, Linda Marsh. Tonight's episode, Once a Con. The night air hung heavy over the campus, carrying a chill that seemed to foretell the tragedy about to unfold. Mary Wilson walked with a gentle smile, holding a doll that had seen better days. "I appreciate you taking it, doll," she had said moments before. "Are you sure it is not going to be too much work?" Her companion had reassured her, saying that she enjoyed it and to tell Rosie that she would have her little friend back to her by Saturday. It was supposed to be as good as new. Night again, they had called out to each other. But the silence of the evening was soon shattered. Mary paused, her heart skipping a beat. "Is someone there? Judd? Judd, if this is your idea to try and scare me, I do not think it is very funny." There was no laughter in response, only a looming shadow. The terror escalated into a desperate plea for mercy. "Help! Somebody help me, please." In another part of the campus, a frantic voice reached the emergency operator. "What difference does it make what my name is? Look, I am telling you, a girl is being attacked right now on the southeast section of the campus where Bundy crosses Fielder. Please hurry." The witness, a young man out of breath, collided with a passerby in his haste. Hey, watch where you're going." Later, the solemn words of a priest echoed over the cordoned-off area. "Most gracious God, Father of mercy, God of all comfort, who with it none should perish, who believe and trust in you, according to the multitude of your tender mercies." Lieutenant Mike Stone stood by, his face etched with the weariness of a man who had seen too much death. He asked if the victim was a Catholic. A fellow officer confirmed it, noting a medal around her neck asking that a priest be called in case of an emergency. She had been carrying it with her, a small safeguard that could not protect her from the violence of the world. It was not a robbery. She had over $80 in her purse, credit cards, and an expensive watch. The brutality was senseless. Her esophagus was severed. Whoever did it did not want to just kill her. She was cut up quite badly. The officer greeted the priest as he finished his rites. She was going to be 21 next month. Her name was Mary Wilson, a student living in a sorority house just a block away. Her roommate had already made a positive identification. Stone noticed something missing from the crime scene photos compared to her hand. What about the ring? It looked like somebody tried to take it off in a hurry. Meanwhile, at the local detention center, the atmosphere was far from academic. Officer Nelson sneered at the inmates. "I suppose next you guys will be pushing to get some heat in here. And then maybe we can get a maid to clean your cell. You short-termers on school release, they're getting pretty demanding." He viewed the program with deep suspicion, believing the inmates thought they were big shots just because they could walk the streets during the day. "Maybe you ever fooled some people about being rehabilitated, but I know it is all a scam. You understand that?" Walter Young, one of the students, replied with measured restraint, "Yes, sir." Officer Nelson. Nelson called him a wise guy and threatened that one day he would sign in late and find himself back in the main population where he belonged. Back at the sorority house, the grief was palpable. If Mary had a doll with her, she probably was going to fix it. She was always helping little kids fix dolls. She was very good at it. Mary had been a theater arts major, working on a paper about 19th century puppetry. It seemed a world away from the harsh reality of the morgue. Stone spoke with her roommate, who had only known Mary for 4 weeks. They were both from Wisconsin, which was why they were paired together. When asked about boyfriends, the roommate mentioned a name like Jack or Jim, but then recalled it was something odder than that. She suggested they ask Tina Harrington, Mary's best friend and an art major. Stone and his partner, Dan Robbins, visited the apartment. They learned that Mary had a special ring given to her about a month ago. It was very special to her, and now it was gone. It must have been very special to somebody else, too, Stone mused. Elsewhere, Walter Young was in a state of panic. He met with his cellmate, Ray Busquez, at the newspaper office. "Ray, I am in trouble. I need your help." Walter explained that he had been in the wrong place at the wrong time, off campus and out of the zone. He had seen the attack and tried to help, but someone saw him and he fled, fearing he would be sent back to prison for a parole violation. He did not know the girl had been murdered. "Ray, they are going to nail me to the cross," he pleaded. Ray reluctantly agreed to provide an alibi, saying Walter was with him at the newspaper office all night. The investigation led the police to suspect the students in the release program. Colonel Whitey Zellers, head of campus security, was quick to blame the hardened criminals. He had 3 suspects, including Walter Young. Stone felt a personal weight, as he was the one who had sponsored Young. "I am the fuzzy-headed, bleeding heart who sponsored Young to come here," Stone admitted. Walter met with his girlfriend, Lisa, in secret. "We gotta sort of cool it a little bit and pretend like we do not know each other, except in the classroom," he told her. He was terrified of the heat and did not want to serve any more hard time. When Stone questioned him, Walter maintained his alibi. "I guess the joint takes that away from you," he said, referring to the discipline of thinking and studying. He claimed he was at the newspaper office with Ray. However, the alibi crumbled when Ray Busquez decided to tell the truth to save his own parole. He told the inspectors that Walter was not with him between 9:30 and 10:05. He did not see Walter until after midnight back at the prison. The search for the truth took another turn when Tina Harrington returned to town, devastated. She pointed the finger at Judd Davis, a medical student who had a mean streak and used drugs. Mary tried to break it off with him, but he would not let her alone, Tina claimed. When the police caught up with Judd, he fled, terrified of being caught with pills. He eventually provided an alibi, claiming he was with a professor's wife, Mrs. Hart, at a motel. Though she initially denied it to protect her reputation, she eventually confirmed the truth. This left Walter Young as the primary suspect. A witness identified him as the man seen fleeing the area. To make matters worse, a knife was found in Walter's locker. Feeling the walls closing in, and faced with the threat of the death penalty, Walter was pressured by the assistant district attorney, Billings, to confess. "They made me an offer I could not refuse," Walter told Stone. He planned to plead guilty to murder too to avoid the gas chamber, even though he maintained his innocence to Stone. Stone, however, felt something was wrong. Lisa Deming came to him, pleading for Walter's life. She revealed that she was the one who called the police, and Walter was with her in her apartment when they saw the attack through the window. Walter had run only because he was off limits in that area. Stone played the recorded emergency call, and the voices matched. Walter was innocent of the murder, but someone had framed him. The final piece of the puzzle was the ring. Stone visited a jeweler, Mr. Thorgeson, who recognized the custom-made piece. His son had made it. Stone discovered a list of names. He returned to the campus and spoke with Tina Harrington and her roommate, Jackie Collins. He revealed that the killer did not want money or jewelry. The killer wanted that specific ring because of what it represented. The truth was tragic. Jackie Collins, driven by an obsessive and jealous love for Tina, had mistaken the friendship between Tina and Mary for something more. She had seen the ring Tina gave Mary and snapped. "I only meant to scar her because she was so beautiful," Jackie confessed, her voice trembling. And then she turned and, "I was afraid I was losing you. I was afraid you would leave me." Tina could only look on in horror. "Jackie, why could you not trust me? Mary and we were only friends, just friends." In the aftermath, Walter Young was cleared of all charges. He returned to his work at the physical therapy gym, helping a young boy named Peter learn to swim again. "You keep trying and trying and trying," Walter encouraged the boy. "There are places you cannot come back from, but you do not listen to them." Stone and Robbins watched from the sidelines. Walter was staying in the program, and his future looked bright. As for Stone being called a fuzzy-headed, bleeding heart, he took it in stride. "I suppose you agree with him?" Stone asked Robbins. "I do," Robbins replied with a smirk, as they walked away from the pool, leaving the shadows of the past behind for the sunlight of a new chance.